It's not surprising that Trump would want to escape into a fantastical world of Unabomber fan fiction right now. Because back in the real world, he's still got all his supporters breathing down his neck to release the Epstein files. And no matter what Trump does, he just can't get them to shut up about it.
I know you've urged people to move on, but I'm curious, why do you think your supporters in particular have been so interested in the Epstein story?
I don't understand
about how it's been handled.
I don't understand it. Why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life.
Not the guy you call to give a eulogy. Also, you don't have to like Epstein, but he clearly was a big factor in terms of life. He's America's most famous sex criminal, which is quite a competitive category. This really highlights Trump's dilemma. He's desperate to tamp down the drama, but his entire career has only taught him to heighten the drama. I mean, you can't spend your whole life as the messy bitch from a reality show and then suddenly say, can we have some decorum here, please? Because this does not sound like Donald Trump.
But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring.
It's boring! Oh, yeah, what's interesting about a global pedophile sex ring that involves the richest people in the world that I might be covering up in my own involvement in? Snooze alert! Anyway, who wants to hear about my copper tariffs? That's juicy. So, MAGA diehards, you've heard your dear leader. Epstein's just a boring dead guy who no one cares about. I'm sure you'll join him in saying it's time to move on. Nothing more to see here.
We should put everything out there and let the people decide it.
I think that the American people need to see what's in there. And that's not hard to understand.
I do think there needs to be more transparency.
You don't believe what the Justice Department is saying?
I don't know. No, I don't. I don't trust him.
Oh, man, that guy is flat out broken. I don't trust nothing no more. I'm gonna go just fill my pocket with rocks and walk into the sea. Tell Manu Raju I love him. I mean, things are so bad, even Lauren Boebert is demanding answers. Although being Lauren Boebert, she has a particular way of putting it.
Of course, we want answers. No one is satisfied with what has been received or lack thereof. No one is satisfied with the rollout of this. Yes, Mr. President. If Lauren Boebert was in charge, you better believe she would leave people satisfied. She would not be jerking everyone around and then leaving them frustrated like you. No, sir, with her, there would be a complete finish. This is a shocking turn of events for Donald Trump. His own sycophants are breaking ranks with him, and even worse, they are demanding accountability. I think moving forward, we need a special counsel. That has got to happen. I want answers, and maybe that takes that special counsel to do so. Maybe Matt Gaetz can lead the special counsel. You want Matt Gaetz to investigate underage sex trafficking? Because it makes sense in a sort of game-recognized game way. I can see Matt Gaetz pulling up to R. Kelly's house saying, I'm putting together a team. Also, legally, I have to introduce myself. And this special counsel thing might have been the last straw, because by this morning, Trump had absolutely lost it on his supporters.
He posted this morning. He said, my past supporters have bought into this, quote, bullshit, hook, line, and sinker. Don't even think about talking of our incredible and unprecedented success because I don't want their support anymore.
God damn, he went full messy bitch. If you can't handle me at my sex crimes cover-up, you don't deserve me at my alligator concentration camps, you sluts.
If Donald Trump was hoping that this would be the weekend that the Jeffrey Epstein story would finally go away, this would not be that weekend.
A stunning story raising new questions about Trump's past relationship with the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
But I still have all the old questions. And those questions might go bad. But go on.
President Trump is lashing out at the Wall Street Journal for claiming that he once sent a 50th birthday card to financier Jeffrey Epstein that contained a bawdy doodle.
My God, a bawdy doodle. At long last, sir, have you no decency? What are we doing, the news in Victorian England now? This scallywag sent me a ribald daguerreotype. My God, alert the constable. That's all you got, bawdy doodle? How bad can it be?
And it's a cryptically written letter, a crude drawing.
It contains several lines of typewritten text framed by the outline of a naked woman.
A pair of small arcs denotes the woman's breasts.
And the future president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist, mimicking pubic hair.
Pubic hair! Oh my God, you broke Blitzer! Pubic hair! By the way, not to be, the grammar police, but it's pubic hair. Pubic hair, that's the way that. Inflection. Pubic hair. Pubic hair! What's the deal with all the curls? No, it's not. Now, a billionaire sending another billionaire a birthday card with a playful, nudie cartoon isn't incriminating in and of itself. It's really the creepiness of the sentiments expressed. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, our lead, Meryl Streep, was unavailable tonight. So, performing tonight's creepy birthday card, please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Nicole Wallace.
Voiceover. There must be more to life than having everything, the note began. Donald. Yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey. Nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald. We have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey. Yes, we do, come to think of it.
In common. Could be anything. You could write all kinds of things you have in common inside the outline of a naked woman. We're both gluten intolerant. You both prefer window seats on airplanes to private islands. Oh, God. I hope Act 2 of this play doesn't make it worse.
Donald. Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey. As a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Donald. The pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. And may every day be another wonderful secret.
What did I tell you? Every day is another wonderful secret. I fucking threw up in my own mouth on that one. I don't even know what any of this means, but I do know that every line in that card sounds like the password you have to use to get into the orgy in Eyes Wide Shut. Donald, we have certain things in common. Jeffrey, enigmas never age. All right, gentlemen, come on in and grab a mask. I gotta say, for that birthday card, how much must it have sucked to be the next guy in the office that had to sign that Epstein birthday card? You want me to sign it right by the pubic hair or by the just the little titties? What do you want? I'm just gonna write here's to 50 more. Now, MAGA world, as you know, is demanding the Epstein files, and yet somehow still has lined up behind Trump to defuse this apparently specific file. Starting with the fact that Trump couldn't have written that birthday card. He doesn't know all the words that were in it.
Somebody did an AI search, and out of decades and decades and decades of being a public figure and now a political figure, Donald Trump has never used the word enigma.
I imagine he's used words that are close. Well, if AI cannot find reference to the word enigma in all of Donald Trump's communiques over the roll 212.
I'm first, Carson's second. Now, Carson's an enigma to me. Carson's an enigma.
He knows the word. And Trump has accurately used it in a sentence. Extra credit. Is there any other exculpatory evidence?
The Wall Street Journal, they got the following on-the-record quote from Trump that said in part, "I never wrote a picture in my life." He then doubled down on his social media platform, posting, "I don't draw pictures."
Yes! Donald Trump neither writes pictures nor draws pictures. Which, as the experts will tell you, are the two leading causes of pictures. Obviously, that's not something you can probably search in AI. The only way you could disprove is with literal evidence of Donald's doodles.
Trump in 2008, in his book, recalled donating an autographed doodle every year to charity.
Here is a drawing of the New York City skyline, signed by Donald Trump in golden ink.
What building in New York City has pubic hair? I'm sorry. Pubic hair. Pubic hair! Oh, pubic hair! I guess this makes Donald Trump just another world leader we wish had just stuck with art. No. Tell your friends. Look, I do have to say, it is a little troubling to me that Team Trump's talking points are, he doesn't even know that word, or he can't draw. And not, why would anyone think he would write a creepy letter to a pedophile? I guess that's because Trump bragged about busting into the dressing rooms at Miss Universe contests and was accused of busting into the dressing room at Miss Teen USA pageants and told a couple of 14-year-olds he'd be dating them in 2 years. Yeah. And then there's this.
Do you think you could now be banging 24-year-olds?
Oh, absolutely. I have no trouble.
Would you do it?
I have no problem.
Yeah, do you have an age limit, or would you?
No, I have no age. I mean, I have an age. I don't want to be like
upper bracket, yeah.
Foley with 12-year-olds.
I'm not a creep. I just want to make it clear. That is what he's admitting to when he knows he's being recorded. Literally, you're sitting in a studio with a giant sign that says, "On air." And you're like, 12 would be just too much. Come on. Maybe it's a lot easier to argue over doodles and vocabulary than to have to confront whether a letter like this lines up with Donald Trump's character. They don't want people asking if the person who'd send a doodle to Jeffrey Epstein was also the type of person that would have said this in a deposition.
When you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything. That's what you said, correct?
Well, historically, that's true with stars.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the pussy?
Well, if you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately or fortunately.
guy's such an enigma. Again, I just want to point out here. Under oath, fortunately or unfortunately, under oath, he doesn't take a position on whether the coerced pussy grabbing is fortunate or unfortunate. None of this looks good. And as the temperature rises on the unanswered questions about Donald Trump's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, the Trump administration was forced to respond.
Breaking news. Moments ago, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, releasing the 230,000 files.
Oh my God, that's from this afternoon. It worked. The incessant public pressure, mainly from, I'll give credit, the MAGA base, has finally forced Trump's hand. Let's hear what's in those files.
230,000 files related to the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr.
Epstein killed Martin Luther King Jr.? What the fuck? Why are you releasing that? What? All right, obviously those are different files. Anything else?
This happened today. AG Bondi released files.
Yes. This is all happening today. What's in those files?
Related to the FBI's handling of the investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server.
Oh, good. Finally, we'll get to know the truth about Hillary's private email island. As the Epstein missile heads towards the fuselage, look at Trump firing off countermeasures from Air Force One like Rooster and Maverick in Top Gun. Maverick, sir, we got a bogey at 5 o'clock. Hillary Clinton's emails. They're still closing, sir. Cuckoosh, Martin Luther King's files. Cuckoosh, cuckoosh. We're out of files. Surely it's curtains. Wait, I've still got one more trick up me sleeve. Boys, it's been an honor serving with you. Here we go.
Trump threatens to restrict the stadium deal with the Washington Commanders if they don't change their name back to the Redskins.
Are you fucking kidding me? You know, they always say liberals are condescending to MAGA. I cannot think of anything more condescending than the way Trump treats MAGA. Oh, you want to know more about how the super rich are trafficking underage girls with impunity? Would you still want to know if I let you use an outdated slur for Native Americans? I guess in Trump's mind, he doesn't have to keep his promises to MAGA as long as he continues to attack the people that MAGA hates. That's his get-out-of-jail-free card. Trump believes he has immunity as long as he remains a petty tyrant, demanding only liberal institutions surrender to his whims.
Right now, Donald Trump is desperate to move on from the Epstein files, but the story is only building.
A major development just in. The Department of Justice says it is trying to set up a meeting with longtime Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell, who's in prison.
The Justice Department now putting out a new statement and saying if Ghislaine Maxwell has information about anyone who has committed crimes against victims, the FBI and the DOJ will hear what she has to say.
Wait. You haven't talked to Ghislaine Maxwell? Epstein's accomplice? The woman he's in the most pictures with? Wouldn't she be your first witness? Also, stick with me here. How funny would it be if the FBI gets there and she's like, I'm finally ready to talk. I'm finally ready to tell you everything. But then at the last second, she grabs one of the agent's guns and takes herself out. The FBI would have to come out like, okay, I know how this looks, but I swear, here's how much I want you to believe me. We did do the first one, okay? We did run up on Epstein and held him down, shook him a little bit. We didn't do this one. But while we wait to see if Ghislaine survives this interview, Trump has been doing everything that he can to keep those files under wraps. He's even got his friends in Congress trying to help. Mike Johnson shut down the House just to avoid a vote on the release of the files. Yeah. Do you understand that they cleared Congress out for the summer like they found a dookie in the pool? Over the last week, Trump has been throwing every distraction he can at us. And I want to go through some of them to show you how desperate he's getting. Let's start with his go-to distraction. Obama!
The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold. They tried to steal the election. They tried to obfuscate the election. Irrefutable proof that Obama was sedacious.
No, booze aside. Sedacious? It feels like he's mispronouncing a new black friend's name. I want you to meet my friend, Sedacious. Thanks. It's Sean. The problem with this distraction is that it's so old, Jeffrey Epstein wouldn't date it, all right?